Mumbai City faced off against Chennaiyin on February the 6th in a crucial encounter that both teams needed to win in order to keep their qualification hopes alive. It was not the most thrilling of matches in terms of goals, but it was an interesting tactical battle between Mumbai's 4-2-3-1 and Chennai's 5-3-2. Mumbai had not won a game in over a month and a half, and they were determined to bag all the 3 points in this game. Chennai, on the other hand, looked as clueless in attack as they have all season and never posed any real threat throughout the game. Mumbai, however, kept fighting and the game was eventually settled by a late Vikram Pratap goal. In a previous episode, we had talked about why 5-3-2 is a virtually impenetrable setup. In this episode, we take a look at how Mumbai used a 4-2-3-1 system to unlock a resolute Chennaiyin defense. Mumbai's double pivot of Jahouh and Apuia were particularly crucial in this game, as we shall see further. So the game finished 1-0 to Mumbai, and the XG time map clearly shows that Mumbai created a better quality chances throughout the game, whereas Chennai barely created any chance except the last shot taken by the striker. So Chennai barely posed any threat and were always chasing the game. Mumbai's chances were also of slightly better quality than Chennai's. Mumbai dominated the game with 57% possession and outplayed Chennai in every single statistic all over the board. The most shocking of all was Chennai not managing a single shot on target. That is just embarrassing for any team and any coach anywhere in the world. So Mumbai lined up in their regular 4-2-3-1. But what was different in this game was the positioning of Mumbai's wingers. Bipin and Changte, both being pacey forwards, played very narrow and tried to make diagonal runs in between Chennai's centre backs and wing back. This can be seen in their average positioning, playing high and narrow. This forced the Chennai's wing backs to tuck in and mark Mumbai's wingers, thus leaving huge spaces on the flanks. Mumbai's fullbacks Rahul Beke and Mandar Rao Desai were delighted with all the space that they had, and therefore they pushed high, at times even venturing as high as Chennai's defensive line. The average positioning map shows the Mumbai's fullbacks playing on the same line as their midfielders. Unsurprisingly, Mandar finished the game with the second highest number of touches and the joint highest number of crosses. So when Mumbai's centre backs had the ball, they had open passing options on either side in both the fullbacks. In order to disrupt these easy passes into higher areas, the Chennai strikers looked to close down the Mumbai centre backs, thus creating a 2v2 situation at the back and disrupting their build-up. In order to get around this, Mumbai centre backs would spread wide and the centre mid Jahouh would drop in between the centre backs. This created a 3v2 overload at the back and allowed Mumbai to build up from deep. Chennai strikers pressing the Mumbai centre backs just played into Mumbai's hands, as this is what they wanted. Jahouh on the ball is in deeper areas is much more dangerous than any of the centre backs. Being outnumbered now, Chennai strikers are caught in no man's land and they are caught out of position. More importantly, they have exposed Chennai's centre, thus taking away the very strength of a 5-3-2 block, that is, not allowing penetration through the centre. Moreover, with Chennai's defensive line pinned deep in their own half by the runs being made by Mumbai's forwards, their midfield trio was reluctant to push high to support the press, as this would leave dangerous space between midfield and defense wide open. This obviously meant that there was too much of a gap in between Chennai strikers and their midfielders. Mumbai's other centre half Apuia looked to exploit this central space, often unmarked. All it needed was one pass through the centre from Jahouh and Apuia was free to receive and progress the attack. In this picture we can clearly see that Chennai's press is totally broken and Jahouh has dropped in between the centre backs to create a 3v2 situation. He then plays a penetrative pass to Apuia in the centre. Unsurprisingly, Jahouh and Apuia finished the game with highest number of passes in the Mumbai team. So with Apuia on the ball now, Casio floating in between the lines to support and link up play and fullbacks pushing high into midfield, Mumbai created a 4v3 advantage against Chennai in midfield. First they created a 3v2 deep in order to draw out the Chennai strikers, and then a 4v3 in midfield in order to negate the Chennai midfield. This was some great tactical awareness from Mumbai players. With the fullbacks free in wide areas, Apuia had enough time and space to find one of them. This forced the Chennai midfield to shift towards the fullback who has the ball, thus leaving a huge space on the other side. This space could then be exploited by the far side winger or fullback if the attack was switched quickly. Mumbai's 85th minute goal through Vikram Pratap came in very much the same fashion. With two defenders and a midfielder caught out of position, the Chennai defense is dragged ball side. Their defensive shape is totally disrupted, and Mumbai's far side winger is free on the far post to receive the cross and score. So we see how Mumbai outplayed Chennai in every corner of the pitch. But more importantly, as students of the game, what lessons can we learn from Mumbai's 4-2-3-1 against Chennai's 5-3-2? So if you come against an opposition that is sitting in a 5-3-2 block, the following takeaways from Mumbai's tactics can be used. A 3-man forward line with pacey wingers to pin the opposition defense deep, fullbacks pushing high to overload the flanks, quick horizontal switches in play to create space at the far post, and dropping one of the centre mids between your centre backs if the centre backs are pressed by the opposition strikers. Thank you for watching, and if you learned something from this game, then please subscribe to the channel and share the video with your friends so that they can learn too. This is all for today, and see you in the next one.